Yes, welcome, sir. After 2 years. I want to congratulate you guys for good work.
It's nice to be seen. Can we help you?
Yes.
Welcome to the agenda with me, LASHA Kingsley in Douala, Cameroon. On today's edition of the program, we are revisiting the resolutions or the agreement arrived at the Toronto, Canada retreat held by Cameroonians having traces from the northwest and the southwest regions of the country to try and look for a lasting solution to the socio-political upheaval that has or is plaguing the two English-speaking regions of the country for 4 years and counting now. And on today's edition of the program, we are glad to have one of the frontline activists who took part in the major national dialogue of 2019 in Yaoundé, in the person of PADDY ASONGA. He has been on this program 2 years ago and is coming back today in the capacity of one of those who have been advocating for the holding of the Anglophone General Conference to try and bring Anglophones together to have a common voice so they can sit with the government and talk about the ongoing problem that Anglophones or the problems that Anglophones are going through. Stay with us. I'll be right back after this. Sanga, thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the program. I'm glad receiving you. It's been long, 2 years. You're back again this time around.
Yes, Kingsley, it's 2 years that we sat together in this studio with you, and but it's not 2 years of interruption of communication between you and myself.
Yes.
And I'm very, very glad to have young, dynamic journalists like you, and I like your program, The Agenda, and there is some kind of maturity in what you have been doing, and I can only congratulate you and your media house for what you have been doing. You know, as you just said, you were one of the first person who went and met the Cardinal and reported after he came up with the idea of the Anglophone General Conference, until it was aborted by it was sabotaged by state officials and some of our brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora. So you guys, you have written history, and today almost everybody is talking about the Cardinal, their meeting in Canada, and you also remember that Chairman Frundi told us that we should meet somewhere. But because the idea came from somebody whom they think that they have to kill, whom they want to kidnap, they decided not to yield to that idea, just to go on and meet today in Canada. That's a very good initiative from the organizers, okay. And I'm happy that those people, those warmongers, have capitulated in Canada.
Right, you were supposed to be part of the meeting, which finally you didn't go because one of your very close aides, Abobala, was there, and he equally carried your voice. Let's now talk about some of the decision taken at the Toronto meeting, and this is the first of its kind where we are having separatist or frontline separatist leaders or represented in a meeting that is aimed at looking for a lasting solution to the ongoing crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. They all agreed that education or school should continue in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Was this meeting, when you heard of this meeting, were you hopeful that something is on its way coming?
Kingsley, I'm going to shock some of you because I'm not a partisan. When I tell you people that is capitulation, how do you fight for people and you tell them that children should not go into school? Then you are just like Boko Haram. So they are capitulating. Because one of their policies was that children should not go to school.
And they probably might have realized themselves.
So that is capitulation. You journalists don't want to call things by their own name, but I want to tell you that that's capitulation. One of their greatest policy was that children should not go to school. And when they capitulate on that, say it to the people. Why are you guys pretending? Why are you doing this? Did Tapang Ivor not tell you that Sako went and killed children in school? Did he not say that? Is it PADDY ASONGA who said it?
We cannot
and
keep,
now they are coming to endorse a resolution.
Yes.
They are coming to point out a resolution that goes against their own policy.
So are you saying that the killing should continue in the
I'm not saying that
Northwest?
killing should continue. I said they should capitulate and surrender like Biafra did. Remember,
Okay.
they created an alliance with Biafra.
And the leader has been
leader
arrested.
Has been arrested. And there is no way, because they thought that Nigeria was going to be part of that charade. But their leader has been arrested. And you know what is happening as we speak in Nigeria? 3 days ago, I was on your media prime the other day and we were debating. Now it's 3 days. People were picked up in Nigeria and some of them are ferried in Cameroon. And those who can pay, we know they will pay for their liberty, and that's the end of it. There is what you call a raid in all refugee camps, and if they find you with anything that has to do with that, I want to be derogatory here, with that rack that you call an Ambazonian flag, they arrest you.
Okay.
They arrest you, and many people have been arrested. You know my engagement in all these things. I call those boys and tell them what is the right thing to do, and some have done it. So you cannot say you are fighting for the liberty of people and you deprive them from going to school. So when you talk about one of the resolutions, and then Ayabacho, who says the school should not go on community school, where did he train the teachers and who pays them?
He said that 5 years or 4 years ago, and today...
No, he did not say that 5 years ago. Kingsley, you guys are not serious at times. He did not say that 5 years ago. Yes. They hijacked the struggles and were improvising. They have never had a consistent position. You have people who agree that they want to create a nation, but they don't agree on policy. Ghost towns tomorrow, ghost towns, no ghost towns. They call themselves terrorists, they call themselves all sorts of names, fake pastors, and so go and listen to their language. And you want me to be part of that. They are going to sit down to talk with Bala because Bala, East and Fontem and Tassang, they are the legitimate leader, and Mancho BBC, those who are in prison. All those people, they are the legitimate leaders. And they never chopped up, they never advocated for school boycotts or killing children in schools or doing what we are reproaching of those of us of the Anglophone section are reproaching from the Cameroon government. So what are you people talking about? Look at the situation from a holistic point of view and let's say the truth to our people, and the truth will set us free.
PADDY ASONGA, somebody watching you at this time will have an impression that it is anger speaking.
Should I be happy? Should I be clapping?
Not somebody.
I'm not in church. I am very, very angry. I am very, very angry because what I have seen, the Anglophone culture that people who call themselves Ambazonian are propagating to us is barbarism. Cutting people's head, killing children who are going to school, kidnapping for ransom, doing what the French did to our people, to our brothers of the other side of the Mongo when they were fighting against independence and fighting for one Cameroon. That's what they have copied. That's what they have learned from this system. So don't tell me to be happy. I have every right to be angry. And I want justice for all victims. So
how do we achieve justice without peace? Normally justice is supposed to go alongside peace.
Let me tell you something.
Are you only for justice? Are you not equally for peace?
When there is justice, there is peace. And how does justice and peace cohabit?
So what kind of justice do you want for the people who are...
Have you not heard that some of those people who killed children in Gadwa in prison, what is Ayabacho doing on the streets? Have you not heard that some of those people who killed in the far north, the lady with the baby on his back, they have been tried? What is Ayaba doing on the streets? What is Tapang doing on the street?
But you cannot compare the Boko Haram crisis to the
Why don't you
crisis.
want me to compare Boko Haram crisis where Boko Haram says...
That one, the enemy has been defined. No, the enemy has been defined.
Kingsley, you journalists, sometimes you guys are not serious. Boko Haram are against schools. Ambazonia is against schools. They went into schools and killed children. What are you people talking about? So, what are you people talking about? Yes. So you want to tell me that those children who were killed in Kumba were not done by Ambazonia? Ambazonia has not cut off hands of people. Some
of those perpetrators have been sentenced to death, pending execution.
Well, some of them have been sentenced to death, but what I also know is that the Cameroon, since the death penalty was abolished, nobody has been executed in Cameroon, which is a good thing. I believe in justice, and I believe that when the Cameroon, I'm very, very happy that some elements of the Cameroon military have been taken to court and they will be judged. And that would give some of us the leverage. Remember that I was one of the first persons to start attacking Tapang Ivo when I came to the National Dialogue. He said I was their agent.
Yes.
He said I was our agent. And today, if he dares to call my name again, he will meet me in court in California. That's what you do. We use every legal means possible because the DNA of this country is one Cameroon. My father voted for one Cameroon. I would have also been in Nigeria. So we give them the mandate to go and sit and start talking about Ambazonia, threatening
PADDY ASONGA. So how do we get out of this situation? The worries of many Cameroonians now is to see the bloodbath in the northwest and southwest come to a standstill before any other move can be taken, can be carried out. So how do we get out of the situation?
The declaration has already been planted in Toronto. They have capitulated in Toronto in front of Agbobala and the College of Conveners of the Anglophone General Conference. And may his soul rest in peace, His Eminence Christian Cardinal Tumi. You're one of those first people who walked to him, and want to also congratulate you for that piece of work. It is in the annals of the history of this country.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
And we recognize that. So you have to keep on doing your job and saying the truth. But to think that at any point somebody will conceive the idea of creating a state, go into his village, kidnap people, rally jobless boys, go break prisons left and right, put them on the street and say they are fighting for independence. It doesn't work like that.
No, but in the face of all these things, the international community and other renowned international non-governmental organizations are documenting all these things you are saying. And after the war, some people will be tried. Some people will be tried.
Tell me, no, after the war, some people will be tried. During the war, people have been tried. During the war, people have been tried. You cannot kill people and say that when there will be peace, everything will be good and people will be tried. What if you don't get them for trial? What if you don't get them for trial?
So should the killing continue?
I'm not saying that killing should continue. They people who decided to pick up arms and claim that all Anglophones are Ambazonia, they should drop their arms and let's sit somewhere and come out with a feasible
But the Toronto meeting, from my own understanding, was just a foundation stone to what you are talking about.
Is it binding? Is it binding?
When you look at the resolutions, some of the resolutions of what...
I've had several meetings all over the place. Are those
and they equally endorse the Swiss talks.
Yes, you know, we also refused the Swiss talks because we wanted the Anglophone General Conference. So are those binding? Did you have the parents of Florence Ayafo or his relatives?
No, you cannot keep talking because Florence Ayafo is not the only person who died. He's not the only most important. He's not the most important person who died. You've had people who died. So many people have died. So
let's talk about the 39 in Bui who were killed by a certain charger that was later on killed by another Amba. Do you think their parents are happy? Were they represented?
So that's Ambazonia versus Ambazonia, not against like Republic in court.
Those are people's children that were manipulated by political scavengers sitting in the diaspora, and you think that because they were this, and you cannot tell lies to people who are not...
PADDY ASONGA, do you believe that you have to dialogue with your enemies or with your friends? From the way you are speaking, it would appear what you want is dialogue with your friends, not your enemies.
I want an intra-Anglophone dialogue. first.
And that's what is
Yes,
went on in
I want
Canada.
an intra-Anglophone dialogue. And the intra-Anglophone dialogue, it should not be that kind of charade where people will go and sit and say we are sweeping everything under the carpet. That idea that people can just pick up guns and go and settle scores, say they are fighting for independence, kidnap priests, collect ransom, go and kidnap Cardinal Tume, accelerate his death.
When you look at the people who were there, the moderator of the Presbyterian Church,
fine.
You see other
you don't know
Bala,
what, let me
Bala
tell you,
was
no,
there.
Kingsley,
So these are credible people.
I received the moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Hamburg. I was here at the National Dialogue with the moderator of the church.
And you know how the moderator of the Presbyterian Church has suffered.
I went after the National Dialogue and met Bala, and I told him that everywhere that they invite us, we'll go. And when they called me to come to Canada, I said, I'm not going to Canada. I already know what the diaspora has done. Go and tell them the situation on the ground. Bala is a diplomat. I am for straight talk. I believe in the Old Testament, even though I'm not a Christian. Let it be clear, so that nobody in this country one day should dream of, because I have a political casket that I've put behind me, and when I will be governing, do you think I will tolerate something like that? It is unfortunate that the Jacobins in Yaoundé, some of their creators... Who do you
call the Jacobins?
The Jacobins are Anglophones, are Francophones. I know you will not want me to call names, but there are Anglophones and Francophone Jacobins in the government who said there were no Anglophone problem. They come out with all sorts of fake theories.
They are responsible for what they say, know what
but
you understand.
But know what you understand.
Most of them are responsible for what they say, know what you understand. They might be saying something and understanding something else.
They understand what they have been told, just like I understand what I have been told. So that's why we should sit and synergize on our thoughts. I am one of those people who think that since 1992, we are ruling, Cameroon is run on autopilot with a de facto president, because we, all Cameroonians, one Cameroonians and the UPCs, we decided to vote on the Union of Change, and it was on a federal system. That was the slogan. I don't know how old you were at the time.
Very young, very young.
So, we should understand that that is the DNA, and it goes deeper than that, Kingsley. How deep does it go? Our forebears, when they Tumaza and the UPCs, they said reunification before independence. That's the DNA of Cameroon. Unfortunately, part of this country went to Nigeria. Those who are saying that they are revoking Resolution 1608, they should go and take that part that went to Nigeria. But the people who are agitating today is not Northern Cameroon, it's Biafra. Biafra who maltreated us. Why did we leave, first of all, from the Enugu Parliament and resettle in Bamenda? Because the Igbo people were doing all sorts of the things that you and I know. You are a very brilliant journalist. So I don't want to make history lessons here.
PADDY ASONGA, let's look at the role of the Anglophone elites in the peace-building process of the Northwest and Southwest region. What do you have to say? Are they doing enough? Like elites, people sit on the same table with Mr. Bia.
Kingsley, I'm going to shock you that Anglophones have two categories of elites. The elites who are politically in power right now, and I want to tell you, I think I told you people this thing in 2017.
You told me 2 years ago.
Yes. Yes. That they would not want it to go. Some of them would even go behind and sponsor. I heard Field Marshal in one of his audios said they are being sponsored by, people will say it's propaganda. Let it be propaganda. But how do you think that they survive with the level of information that they get with this sensitivity? Some of these elites who are here, they're afraid of young people like you. They're afraid of young dynamic journalists that are coming up because they are sitting there and interpreting Mr. Bia's speech. They are all at the communication. How do you call it? Conseil de communication. What?
National Communication Council.
They are appointed. If the Anglophone sit down and speak to themselves, another elite would emerge that is threatening them.
Yes, PADDY ASONGA, I was asking you the role of the Anglophone elites in the peace-building process of the northwest and southwest regions of the country, knowing fully well that most of the Anglophones who hold key positions in the government, we've not seen them do enough to ensure that peace return to the two English-speaking regions of the country. The few who are able to do what they are doing, they are lambasted by their French colleague.
Kingsley, are you talking about nominated elites or elected elites?
We don't, most often we don't have elected elites. We have appointed elites or nominated elites in the country. So we don't those who are in the government. Just a few people are elected.
Okay, you want
a
me
majority.
to talk about
the Anglophone elites who are in the government.
Okay, you want me to talk about the Anglophone elites who are in the government?
Yes.
Good. I'm happy that you don't want me to talk about the elected elites.
No, we'll come to that. Let's start with those who have been appointed by President Biya. Those who hold key positions and they have the opportunity or golden opportunity to sit on the same table with Mr. Biya.
Let me resume it this way. Mr. Biya told you at a certain time that he was the best student of France, and he has taught those elites to repeat what he says like program parrots. And they will tell you, haute instruction. The president has said this. The president has said it. It is a Jacobin system where people protect what you call in French their prébences. The problem with those appointed elites is that if the political solution, the political situation in the northwest and southwest region resolves today, people like yourself would emerge. There's going to be a generational change where you would go to your native town and people will see the sincerity because you have been sincere from the get-go. You have been speaking the truth. They will give you their mandate. But people sit in Yaoundé, they give them budgets, they write fake reports, they go on the field, on mission. How do you expect them to yield to what you and me are talking of? How? How possible is that?
Sometimes we've seen the Prime Minister, while he's in Bamenda, preaching peace. Another minister is in Yaoundé, granting interview on international
that's what I'm saying.
Media, counteracting what the PM...
I'm one of those people, let me be very frank to you. I'm one of those people that I don't believe in a monotheistic culture, that I don't believe that all of us are going to think in the same direction. And when I always go on my public outings, I like to quote people like Martin Oyuno. Can you remember what Martin Oyuno said at the beginning of this crisis? I like to quote people like David Aboy-Machoy.
Of course, he has worked as a former governor of the Northwest and so understands.
I would like to quote people like Robert Mute Ambassa. They are CPDM people. Francophones, but they have been more honest than some of us Anglophones who are in the system. So that tells you how where we come from and where the problem is. It is a problem of a political elite that has been recycled for almost 40 years, and they are afraid. Some of them were picked up and locked up in jail because they did not succeed to send their children they did not accept that their children should go into EMEA, and they became Ambazonian and created foundations and whatsoever. And they were locked up not because they were so, it was because they have benefited from the system, and then they started criticizing the system that feeds you. What do they call that? They call that betrayal. And do you think that I'm going to trust people like that?
But PADDY Asanga, apparently trust has been built in Toronto, Canada. Amongst the separatists and those who are back this way, fronting for peace to return to the Northwest and Southwest. We had representatives
I will tell you something. I'll tell you something.
Representative came from Cameroon. We had civil society organizations, the leaders who were there in Toronto, Canada.
I would tell you something.
Apparently trust has been built.
Kingsley, Reverend Fomunki, Bala, myself, and all those who stood behind the cardinal have been on all fronts. Home and abroad, in Paris, in New York, in Washington, in Berlin, and so on and so forth. And you cannot trust anybody in the diaspora.
Why?
Go and listen to them talking about themselves.
No, those are their strategies.
It has nothing to do with strategy. Then listen to the so-called, when everybody, all the fighters that have died have been disowned by their groups. They say, no, they were all bandits. Why? Do you know why they are calling them bandits? Because they break prison and remove some of them. All those who believe in that illusion, some of them are in the DDR center, some of them are integrated. All those hardened criminals. Go and study the profiles of somebody who has never been to school, because I can train to pick up guns and create panic in some and run in the bush, kidnap you, show you gun and take a ransom. You call me a general and I accept that.
General.
That is a deception, Kingsley. It's a deception. That is the idea. That's how they.
We have seen some of them causing untold calamities on the military, like no pity in Bamisin.
Yeah, but if I'm sleeping and you come and you want to kill me, what would I do? You ambush me. Not the first time. It happens in Iraq. It happens anywhere. You will have professional military. That also, did America not lost people in Iraq? Have Americans not died in this? They have the most sophisticated military. What are you talking about? Lately, what did the Taliban do to the Americans who were there? So what are you saying? Those things would happen, but I want to say that everybody who died because of this conflict died for one Cameroon, be it Amber Boy or not. Because the DNA of Cameroon, the testament of Cameroon are the United Nations, where people were running there for the 7th time with the 7th president. That's what you guys, journalists, you are not honest enough to
so I've had Dr. Simon Monzu on this platform, who happens to retire as Assistant UN Secretary General for
he told you people
Mali, and he has said it openly. Yes. He has said it.
The decolonization community doesn't exist anymore. All what their people are doing, they have collected huge sums of money, enriched themselves. Ask them, why can they not agree? Why they are sitting in Canada?
But now that they have agreed to come together,
why
are you not? Why are you not throwing your weight behind them?
Listen. I'm not throwing my weight behind any Ambazonia. I am throwing my weight behind CDN. They invited Ambazonia, not Ambazonia inviting them. Let that one be clear.
But they accepted to come.
So
why were Ambazonia not here during the major national dialogue?
They refused to come.
Of course, which is what I was telling you about
they
trust.
Refused to come.
That apparently trust has been built.
Their letters of invitations are circulating. They have representatives on this country who gave them the mandate to talk on my behalf. When they finish there,
they are talking on their own behalf. They are Anglophones.
No, Kingsley.
They are Anglophones.
No, they call themselves Ambazonia. I belong to One Cameroon, and I'm a member of the SDF. I'm a member of the Social Democratic Front, which is a constituted party, like many other parties. So that's what I'm saying. Listen, Kingsley, why would you go and sit in Canada, calling yourself Ambazonia, and you don't invite your generals? Why?
No, the generals take instruction from them.
But when they are talking about this, what were they talking about? War strategy or planning to buy arms?
No.
Good. So let's come
but
to
we have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to get out of the program.
When you come to a situation like that,
what is the way forward? What is the way forward?
Call your people also, and then call.
Are you sure that they didn't call their people? They didn't call No Pity General Cross and died before he died. Are you not sure they called some of them?
Let them bring out the archives to show that they called them. You can intervene on Zoom. All those boys, there is a forum that Shina Rambo created, which I'm on it with him.
Yes.
So you can, they should bring out archives that they call them. They are using people's children as political guineas. I'm talking about Ambassador. Now I'm talking about CTNA because we have cautioned everything. The only thing that we denounced was that initiative that they make in the Ghana, because it was a pure Ambazonian thing.
In Ghana?
Yes, and they wanted to ambush us. At that time, Nick Santos just left, and Nick Santos, he himself, I am asking him to apologize to the Cameroonian and the Anglophone people. If not, when he steps his foot in this country, he should go to the DDR center. And his boss is going to be closed.
No, he's CPDM. He ran for...
He lost.
Yes, he ran, which means that he's a Cameroonian. How can you call him an Ambazonian?
No, but he should go to the DDR center for doing what... He's not different from any other renegade that has abandoned the nonsense.
Okay, Paddy, your last word. Your last word.
I want to say that I want to first of all congratulate you guys at the home front for staying steadfast, and congratulate all the Francophone population who have accommodated our Anglophone brothers, giving them refuge without yielding to that thing, kill Francophone or kill Bamileke.
Yes.
And that is the spirit of one Cameroon. That's the DNA for one Cameroon.
Countering what Ambazonians are saying, enemy comes, enemies come.
That is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
To enemies come. But
that is exactly what happened. During the independence war, when the UPCs and were fighting, we received them. And today, Ambazonia is saying that no, Bamileke should go, Francophone should go. Our Francophones are received, and we are living here.
Okay.
We are here.
Thank you, Paddy Asanga. Thank you very much.
And one Cameroon.
Thank you very much, Paddy Asanga. You are an activist, a member of SDF Germany.
Yes, and I'm also one of the promoters of the Anglophone General Conference.
Thank you so much.
Those of you who are home, you should put yourselves together, and then you come out with your own resolutions.
Thank you for
the
coming,
government
sir.
should facilitate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome, sir. Bye-bye.